ever have one of those shows you just don't like but continue watching it anyway, thinking the show has some potential even if it's not there? If that's the case, then... Wait, I feel like I've done this before. Oh, you son of a... Okay, it's time. Let's talk about the second half of The Fruit of Evolution. You know, the second part, like episodes 7 to 12. Yeah, that. After taking a little break and working on a Dance Excel video with some upcoming plans and plenty more reviews of shows coming up, it was inevitable I'd have to return to The Fruit of Evolution and finish talking about this show once and for all. I guess GJ Club and Minami-ke will have to wait. Just a little recap as to what I talked about. I basically talked about episodes 1 through 6 of The Fruit of Evolution, ending off the 6th episode by saying Uma Musume Season 3 teaser. Well, it's time to expand upon that Uma Musume character, as she gets some spotlight in the 7th episode, and she may very well be the most annoying character of the lot. Anyway, let's get this over with, because I want to be done with this shit. Like, I could have talked about I Mizuno for 15 minutes, and that would be more interesting than what the fuck I'm doing right now. Alright, so episode 7, Machio asks Seiichi for something, which transitions us into our first bad joke of the video. I've been keeping tallies of how many bad jokes we've been encountering. The notebook is almost completely filled. Please stop smiling like that. You really shouldn't be happy to be in a TV show like this. What? Take this more seriously? It's the Fruit of Evolution. I'm taking this as seriously as I can. So Machio gives us some information about horses and how Seiichi doesn't have one, claiming that every high-ranking adventurer needs one. Forget those 2 legs on your body, smash that and don't even think about looking at any other Isekai character that rode on anything but a horse. No, every adventurer needs a horse. We're in an Isekai, not in everyday modern-day society. He receives a paper from Machio, and this takes him to a horse pen to pick out a horse, because apparently he needs one. He's also given a map that does a little good for him, but he finds his way there. No, seriously, he complains about not being able to find the pen and immediately finds the pen without any hitch. Why include the scene of him complaining at all? I know, I use analogies too much, but it's the equivalent of whining about losing money but getting that money back. Don't complain about it when you'll get it, especially when it's that quick. Well, if we didn't know anything about this being a horse pen, let's place 3 horses here and a carriage here. Nobody would have caught on otherwise with this setting almost mimicking a horse pen. Though, I can't blame him, this place looks like a bank, if anything. So we have this man talking about the Horse Cup, which is basically Uma Musume, which is basically horse races, except more violent, where you can use any means necessary, including destruction, to win, and we obviously know the answer is no. Can we just give Seiichi a horse, please? So anyway, we check out the pen with a fun bunch of horses to choose from, including Serpent, Dead, and Special Week. This show rattles on about how deer horses are stupid and they die easily, like how Satan Academy makes jokes about the sloth character dying a lot. But at least with the sloth character, many of the jokes were actually funny, and with Satan Academy, it's a pretty good show. Plus, at least with Satan Academy, it's more of a show that teaches about animals while also having its own story, so the jokes were warranted here. With The Fruit of Evolution, the jokes aren't funny, the show rattled on for too long about this, the show wasn't good to begin with, and the joke is a reference to another show, assuming Inspector, and it's still not funny! We are met with our next love interest for the character, Special Week, or Lani. The horse owner bitches about the horse, supposedly it's a donkey, not a horse. He gets his ass kicked.
なんか言ってる。
スキル、全言語理解を習得しました。
You know, I feel like I've said something about this before. I don't know where it's from. But I feel like I mentioned somewhere that it's almost like he has to just simply say something and it'll come to him. Wait, what was that? Hey, run that by me again.
It's almost like he has to just simply say something and it'll come to him.
Oh, crap. I was right. I have been here before. It's just been quite a while and I can't seem to remember a lot. I'll have to watch what I say from now on. Onto the scene itself, though. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. I mean, it's... This scene really bothers me like a lot. I just don't like the scene at all. One of my biggest frustrations with a TV show is when they implement gimmicks that only last about, 5 seconds, like the inability to understand Special Week. But that's basically tarnished because of stuff like this. Out of curiosity, I actually wonder what the show would be like if we couldn't understand Special Week at all. I feel like it could be something similar to Toothless and Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. Even though Hiccup couldn't understand what he was saying, he still worked really well with Toothless. Sure, they managed some drama like How to Train Your Dragon did, but I'm not really one to dislike drama either. I like Odd Taxi, and I'm planning on watching Ghost 6 sometime soon. I just feel like this show's not really willing to take risk just to follow in the footsteps of other cliches.
Going off the beaten track for a second, characters that speak different languages is fine in my opinion. I feel like that could spark some character development between other characters. Some of my favorite examples include Tei Yamada from Zombieland Saga and Shinobu Unalis from Kinmoza. Those characters speak either different languages or don't have any understandable language at all. But even if you can't understand them, you can still have feelings for them, and they can have character development. Of course, the characters I mentioned, like Alice, later went to speak the same language as Shinobu, and Teyamada. I don't know. I watched the entirety of both seasons, and I never once heard her speak any fluent language, but I was able to understand some things. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have to speak the same language to develop characters. So, which one would you pick? Different languages or cliches? Well, too bad, because the show already picked, and its show's cliche. Our main character is given the ability to understand all forms of languages in case one wasn't enough. However, this doesn't mean other people can just immediately understand what she was saying, because they don't have the same ability as Seiichi. However, that changes their patterns as well to be able to understand Lune. No, seriously, this is the logic for one. Seiichi talks, I didn't listen, but Lune sure did, and demands he enters the pen. He willingly agrees, and the voice and attack immediately brought upon him by Special Week. And hey guys, $10 if this character starts feeling affection for him because he dodged an ability. No, seriously, I bet the show will do that again. After dodging an attack and a kick, Lune gets soft and flails around after being picked up, gives up, and professes that he becomes his master. Pay up! He goes along with his rouge, and then we catch the name of this person, Lune. He asks the keeper to sell his donkey, he gets mad, he gets kicked, donkey Seiichi gets. Where were you raised then? How are horses raised and born and then sold for horse races? Are they hired after they're born? How old are you? Am I overthinking things? Kinda. But many of these questions I have after she says this. Oh, and yeah, you can bet your hide I'm not gonna be getting a lot of these answers for them. Anyway, we're not even halfway through the episode. Oh, for the love of... I mean, you think that's bad, but here I am editing and not even halfway through the 7th episode. I hope you know this. I'll be moving a lot faster now. We have a leech and the painter both talking. The leech is talking about joining a competition, and the painter is against the idea. She will eventually be a part of the competition by the time I'm done making a 5th Museum joke. He rattles on, and Seiichi gets involved, talking about how he sees a woman as opposed to how a woman truly should be perceived. Unique. Seiichi disagrees, and his name drops. He's Clay Burger. Or no, Callie Burger. Actually, no, he's called Clay Burger. I would have actually preferred Callie because it sounds a lot more of a unique name than Clay Burger. He's a duke, and much like most dukes perceived in the anime, he's rich, so he must be an asshole. This conversation then sidetracks into the fact that Seiichi will be entering the Horse Cup, because that was an excellent segue. He leaves on impact on them, and then the duke talks about the donkey. Things get awkward. Next scene. That's all I really remember from this conversation. The cup begins, or at least we're on the field, and what I said is absolutely true. No one but Seiichi can understand what Lilune says. That's fine, but I just feel like there could have been more potential to it. But finally, we're at the starting line. Why is she saying Tambuli? Does anyone know? Can you stop saying the main character's name? Because the majority of the time, that's all you really say. We gotta look at some of the... Tambuli! Shut up. The second place prize is crappy fan service images for a character we haven't been introduced to yet. But the show goes as far as not only showing her character, but even name-dropping Louise's name. Should be introduced next episode, but the show's already pushing its luck when it comes to surprises. Either way, the crowd absolutely loses its shit. I've seen less people cheer at Bethesda E3 conferences than these people cheering for images of a character. These people have never seen Louise before. Ironic because she was walking into a cafe in the last episode in broad daylight. No one saw her there? The first place prize is the ability to actually meet the Valkyrie. I wonder how the crowd's... You probably don't even know anyone else but Louise! Stop cheering for that! Then they make a new plan. They aim for 5th place or something lower than the top 2. Seiichi goes along with Lune's plan. Hey, these two, rich people and Art Girl. I knew they were gonna show up eventually. Oh yeah, I forgot this guy was supposed to initially be fat. Also, didn't you complain about the student council president character in the first episode with a flashback filter that rivaled the Loon Pictures anime? Hey guys, I'm getting worried. Nobody made any jokes about those damn deer horses. Can we get some more jokes about those damn deer horses, please?
To the one person that thought that, congratulations. You made this scene a reality and effectively made this show longer, you asshole. Can we move on? Lolune slows to a crawl and
claims she's hungry and, that's why Google was showing me a bunch of food. He's able to materialize a piece of food from some green wormhole. I'm assuming this is the item because if it isn't, where the heck did it come from? This food in question is another stage of the food revolution. Apparently he was having it lying around somewhere. He's a Lolune and we cut to the competition. I assume they're gonna be tripping him or something. I don't know. As long as Seiichi finds a story can continue. Wait, so if he dies, the story's over?
okay. Well, I hope that clears up the Lolune arc. I hope we never have to see that character again. Hopefully we will...
わかったから落ち着けって
Give me a break. I give up. Next episode. Blah, blah, blah. Intro. Lolune turn into girl. Girl get jealous by other girl. Guy tries to explain to girl. Girl attacks guy. That's basically the beginning in a nutshell. If I had to like this for the duration of an episode, it wouldn't stop me from making this video 20 minutes long, even if I dumbed my dialogue down. We get a good look into our bad guy, for some reason. We are only shown her maybe in the 4th or 5th episode, so it's nice to know she exists, I guess. She shows up for only like a few seconds at the beginning and then marches off. Bam, roll the opening, which uses the music from Poppin' Party. Why do I keep coming back? We get explanation after explanation from Seiichi. Artoria doesn't believe him until Sadia shows off her gorilla arms for like 5 seconds and puts them away. Because things being useful in this world, again... 15 minutes of fame. I refer to it as 15 seconds of fame, but that's gonna be happening a lot with shows like this. You have an inventive idea, you get rid of it when it's no longer useful. That's one of my least favorite cliches of any form of media, regardless of where it is. Speaking of 15 seconds of fame, 2 Valkyries come in, ask a name, then arrest a man. Guess who? Reasons given, and no they're not, at least not on the spot. Okay, I'll stop. The bad guy introduces us to other bad guys who specialize in the same technology.
魔王軍第3部隊隊長レイヤ・ファルザーただいま到着しました
You know, I find it kind of weird how the TV shows are introducing characters halfway through it. I just felt like I needed to point that out. Because the show needs more than 1 or 2 bad guys. Heck, the bad guy shown earlier, villain number 2, hasn't shown up yet at all since his appearance. But these guys get more attention, apparently. We get character introductions for all of them, while still getting dialogue as to what this meeting is for. To simply put, they talked, I never listened. Remember this Kreese character. He becomes villain number 3, not to be confused with villain number 2, which is a spin based off of villain number 1. I'm at my wit's end with remembering all these bad guys. Kreese also laughs too much, and is basically the incarnation of a bad guy if I've ever seen one. We talk to a dragon who talks about how much he used to hate humans, but then he doesn't. Like a sudden tonal change when he was beaten by Seiichi and friends. Kreese also becomes just the bad guy as a whole, the next bad guy, okay? Can we move on from this meeting? Seiichi has cuffs on because he has to spend a day with the Valkyries, by force. So it seems more like he was made to do it rather than enjoying it, which makes me wonder why it was a prize at all. But we get to meet harem protagonist number 4, Louise, which was revealed numerous times in the past, so introducing her now doesn't surprise me. It's like officially leaking your own work, and it's not in a fun or good way.
ちょうどいい聖一君あれを見てごらんあれが私たちワルキューレの訓練
Where
だ
the heck are the panels coming from?
中心に
And
お
why
ら
is
れ
no
るの
one
が
commenting about
我らが
this?
団長ルイ
This
ス
character
様
was
です
revealed numerous times, so why are you acting like she's being revealed now? What the heck is this TV show doing? Louise forced him into a battle, and I know exactly where this is going. I won that last bet, so I can win this one. Another person now fall in love with the character for no other reason other than the fact that he dodged his attacks. Please say it ain't so. Only this show knows how many times I have to play that game before it stops. Anyway, she hands him a sword and... Wait, where are those pedals coming from? Why does this show keep doing this? We hear a scream and echo, which even I could do in Vegas. I'll show you what I mean. Just take this, add a little reverb, and there you go.
Nothing could feel better than this.
It's not that hard. Anybody could do it. Also, echoes are like so cliche, and I've only heard them ever used for yells and screams. Here's that same sound with an even better sounding echo.
Nothing could feel better than this.
Again, it's not hard to do, and while effective, it's less effective when I hear the protagonist scream every 5 seconds. We, after a long break of not seeing the other students, we see the other students face to face against another antagonist. And they're wearing the same uniform and... Look, I'm getting tired of this show introducing antagos every 5 seconds.
驚きましたまさか私の衝撃が簡単にかわされると本当に驚きましたまさか私の本気が通用しないだ
Payoff. No, seriously, I've never been so mentally frustrated with a TV show before since Ebiton. Can we go one episode without someone being impressed by Seiichi's plan of defense? You may say that helped him get a girlfriend. I say, that was never his girlfriend to begin with, and Altorio didn't do jack like that. Anyway, she claims that she'll end this, and... Okay, who's doing that? Is it you over there? Turn it off right now! It's messing with the video. Okay, I called an electrician, and he told me the fan can't be turned off unless it's unplugged, so I had to unplug it. Here's the plug in my hand. Speaking of plugging in, apparently this guy's skill meter is going off. You know what that means? It's bullshit-o-meter o'clock! He wins instantly.
聖一殿。師匠とお呼びして。
Next episode. I said next episode! Assassin Girl. She attacks Seiichi, who backhands her and almost definitely causes him injury, as knocking someone unconscious like that will hurt. Anyway, this girl, spoiling it for you, has one of those enslavement bracelets on, controlling her. You know what I said the last part? Yeah, I wasn't lying. She attacked the king, poisoning him, and this scene reminds me very much of Another World with my smartphone, which was equally in the OK department. The king turns out to be the guy from Restaurant to Another World, the scene that I mentioned before. And he gets up like normal, because Seiichi saved the man, promising a reward in the process. Nice job, Seiichi. You did the man proud. He praised you a lot, definitely, but we don't have time to see it as we meet up with the antagonist. Villain number two, apparently. For like a few minutes. We go into the school because those guys with enslavement bracelets are there for... I don't know how villain number 2 pulled it off, honestly. But our protago apparently knows these three, so let's just trust and she went and know what she's doing. She makes a reference to a Roman Silver song. A public fight may break out, but it's broken off because someone thought about safety. Unlike Seiichi, who's never really brought up until like the 12th episode. Again, they fire words at each other, the president drops the card, we get unneeding public pool scenes which only exist for fan service. Like, I won't complain, I'll just ignore it. But at least with Sadia's not in this episode, damn it. Back to villain number 2. More stuff we already know about, this time with a big sword here to react to all of it. Another thing I don't like about TV shows is when a TV show tells me information and an obvious exposition scene through dialogue that I already know about. The only difference is someone is reacting with dialogue as how could you? Or saying the word of the thing they're using, like, enslavement bracelets! You could have easily cut these scenes or changed them up without making it feel like an exposition dump. Seiichi wakes up to find the 3 girls there, and needless to say, this is gonna feel so damn good. Hey, remember that assassin girl? Yeah, she's being tortured in the stupidest way possible, and it was bothering me a ton. I noticed the video was offline, and I didn't have the last scene, but I had this, which was her being fed food. Does this mean that I'm against the torture? Kinda, but also it's pretty stupid. She tries to grab the collar herself, but she gets electrocuted for it, so I ask, why not have someone else break the collar for her? Seiichi breaks the collar for her. She calls him sister, and the arc is complete, but now she's part of the harem now, I guess? On to the villains. They talk about something and do an evil laugh. That's something? They just talk about their plans. But hey, something new, finally. In loon quality flashbacks, but we do get one thing. There's an army waiting for our protagonists, and they don't look too happy. Then we get the evil laugh, because bad guys need the evil laugh. So, episode 11. This is a first. Even the... I can't say that word for a show like this, but I'll try. Even... Who the fuck is a fan of this? But anyway, even people, we're gonna call them people for now, people found this episode in very bad taste. They didn't like it. I wonder why. Either way, Machio and Aria are here because a mage is here as well. All of them greet the king in very stupid and dumb ways that would make a 4-year-old chuckle. But me, no it doesn't. The king tries his hardest to take these guys seriously, and I can't blame him for trying, so... We head back to the academy because there's some important business. The king runs the academy after all, so he must have found out about the crummy rumors floating around. And so he has. They don't matter. They transition as quickly as they show up. In fact, a lot of things get the 15 seconds of fame treatment in this episode, including but not limited to this conversation, which transitions into a fight and back to Seiichi. Largely because we have to hear about the fight, the rumors, a combo between the king, a fight, the rumors, the fight. Can we take a break to discuss, like, what are we talking about in this?
そろそろそうですね
Damn those pedals. A fight breaks out, more messages and transitions happen. We have like 2 fights going on at once. And you know what that means? Our main character's party is going to have to take care of them. Why not just send everyone? That would have been plenty smarter. But no. Instead, you send a kill to a few people and that's it. Are they ever gonna start fighting soon? That wouldn't be too hard, right? Also, the main character himself doesn't fight until like the next episode, so yeah, this does feel like filler. Also, the entire fight scene I'm just gonna skip because it's awful and I hate it. The only interesting part was when the butler defeated the giant monster, but that's about it, with everyone else being practically mediocre at best. Painfully mediocre at best. We made it to the final episode, so let's rush this thing while we can. Seiichi pulls some stupid overpowered spell that easily kills the enemies in a matter of seconds. Great, so why did this take an entire episode for us to throw down all the enemies? That's about as bad as spending an entire episode in a cliche. We saw the bad guy and how upset he was that he got lost. Then quickly realized that Seiichi is waiting for him and smashes his lair. He again gets discovered but doesn't get taken away. He's also invited into the school and thinks about it for a bit. Just accepts. The girls are happy, and the second half of the episode is basically just chill activities between the girls and Sadia. It's nice. And what do we have to look at? The artist that painted this? Okay. Which is basically Lule and Seiichi riding on a mountain. Not bad, but how long did it take you to make that, considering the time between the race and all the things that happen? Oh, and this show baits getting a second season like numerous times, and I'm too tired to laugh at such an awful joke like that. With the bad guy talking about how this isn't the end and stuff, which is usually said for shows and movies that don't get sequels, and many of them really do. I doubt this show is much of a success that will warrant it. In fact, I bet on that. Also, as mentioned in the first part, we have a scene where the character nobody knew about asks the character if he's ever seen Seiichi before, and claims he helped him out of a jam. And when she denies it, that character tells them to let them know he finds him. This character hasn't been mentioned at all in previous episodes, so I don't know why she was mentioned here. Also, I'm not a big fan of introducing characters very late in the show. This is the last episode! Why are we getting an introduction to a character at this point? Last scene. Sadia and the gang get on a horse and ride it up into the next town, hoping to continue an adventure with Seiichi. And that was the Fruits of Evolution. I didn't like it. This show felt very bland and unfunny to me. The jokes were, again, unfunny. The characters were, while creative, were a very odd bunch, and I had such a massive issue with the way exposition was handled. Not to mention the amount of yelling and poor writing that went into this project. It didn't help, in my opinion. Nothing other than the 10th episode really caught my liking. It could be worse, but I didn't expect this show to be getting a second season. In fact, I highly doubt it. But I think I'm finished. Now, it's time to move on to something less painful. I knew one day I would have to talk about this show. I freaking hated Ebiten, but at least I didn't have to sit through it until the end. With this show, I had to do it. And what's worse, Ebiten didn't have Imizuno in it. But neither did the Fruits of Evolution, so they're both bad. So either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.